Welcome. Let's talk about Bitcoin and altcoins, how they're setting up right now, and the exact levels to look for to shift into bullish structure on lower timeframes before we can really get confident about a bottom being in. So we'll just start on the higher timeframes, but then I'll get down to hourly 15-minute to look at the exact structure of this move down so we can see what needs to break to the upside first before we can really get confident that a bottom might be in. And then we can, get more aggressive about positioning. For the time being, things are still in bearish structure, and I'll outline that to you on lower time frames in just a sec. Before getting into all those analysis pieces, quick shout out to my affiliate exchanges. If you want to trade crypto and you can't use many exchanges due to geolocation restrictions, BitsandX will allow you with no KYC, no VPN needed. So USA customers in other countries that might not be allowed to use most exchanges, you can trade crypto on BitsandX exchange. So check it out with my link in the description. Also, BingX exchange, these guys not requiring KYC. You might need a VPN though, but the cool thing about BingX is that they are allowing trading of crypto, indices, commodities, forex, stocks. They have a bunch of different markets that you can trade, which is why I like BingX exchange. Both of them have great competitive fees. So check out these exchanges, specifically BitsandX. If you can't use most exchanges, they're not going to make you have a VPN or KYC on this one. So check it out if you're interested in an exchange. Now let's talk about this higher time frame. And first, just the overall structure. So with the daily, we've been in an uptrend, right? So what do we need to see held? Well, we want to see this level here held on close. And so we're still doing that. We're still in bullish structure on the daily time frame, 50,500 or so on close with this daily. So we're still in a higher time frame uptrend. Same thing goes with weekly, higher time frame uptrend. So we just want to see that this overall consolidation here is going to hold that level on this daily. And we just swept the lows of a consolidation, which is often what you see before a bottom, and then we head to the upside out of here. But before we actually get confident that that's going to play out, we need to look at a few lower time frame things. So everything looks fine on this time frame. Let's go down to an hourly and take a look at what happened on this flush down. So we see a big flush on longs, which is also a good sign. We do want to see a kind of deleveraging before we can get moving to the upside. And typically that's what you see on a shakeout move before the real move in the trend's favor. Now, what's not looking good is that we're still in a downtrend. So getting confident about a bottom being in, we do actually need to see something proven here, and nothing has been proven yet. So the level to hold for continuation of bear structure right at this moment is here. So it's around 59.5, 59.6. That is the level to break to the upside to then look for a higher low and confirm that the bottom's in. So if that breaks on close, expectation is the bottom's in and we're going higher from there. Ideally though, what we see is this comes down for another low, and then we can update the structure. So that would allow us for a better potential entry. So if that happened, so let's say that this broke down here for a new low on close, then I can update this level for the bearish structure to this high right here. So that would be ideal, because then, let's get rid of these drawings, we have a much better entry potential. So let's just say this broke down here and then broke back over that level. We now would have an updated level that needs to break to the upside to then get into bullish structure. So that would be ideal, because I'd rather enter on a pullback down here like that, looking for an entry in this area, than I would after breaking this high up here to worse entry. So if you get the point what I'm saying here, I'd like to see that break down for another low there, then break bullish with the structure to then have a better entry opportunity at a better price, riding that much higher. So that's kind of the deal right now. That's the current level to break for structure to get into bullish structure. And we don't want to assume anything as far as bullish action goes yet, because we still are in lower time frame bearish structure. I want to see that change first before we can really think about getting too overly bullish here. Okay, so let's take a look at Ethereum. Before doing that, actually, let's take a look at some of the data here for this move down. Some more data here. Funding rates. So we did go negative on this push down. That's a good sign. So shows some bearish sentiment, people getting a bit aggressive on their leveraged shorts. Big flush on open interest. That's also a good sign, flushing out those leveraged long positions, majority long positions on that push down. And then we also have this at a healthy level with our aggregated premium. So I want to see this stay in that red, get as much into the negative as possible there. So we can kind of see that the spot market is holding up the price, shorts getting aggressive, pushing down price, and this futures market lower than on the spot market. So we want to see shorts being aggressive, longs not being too aggressive, essentially is what I'm saying here. And then again, back to that structure. We want to see that structure get bullish first before we get too confident about a bottom being in already. So let's move on to Ethereum now. So daily time frame, we did come down, sweep the lows of this consolidation. And so that's great. What we want to see is, again, the same thing with that structure. Get even lower, 15 minutes. So we have such a big push down on this final move. This is our current bearish structure that needs to hold. And again, structure typically does hold. So we see continuations of the current structure more times than not. I just made a few videos about that, testing it. And so hourly, 4 hour, both of them have a high continuation rate. You see continuation more times than not, and we've seen it time and time again throughout this downtrend, continuation more times than not. And so right now, that's the level to break to the upside to actually shift into a bullish structure, and then we can get more confident about a bottom being in. Till then, we're still kind of in that territory where we could see another push down to sweep these lows. And so we have a big push to the downside, might finish on a smaller push to the downside before we really get going. And that's what would be ideal, even though it might not happen because we did see such a big flush here. We might not get that final move to the downside there to take out those lows. I'm just saying that would be great to see it happen, because then we can update our market structure high to this point here. And then it would be a better potential entry once we do go to break some structure to the upside, and then we can confirm that bottom, look for a continuation up. So that's the level right now to hold and break. Also to get bullish is around 277. Let's take a look at Litecoin. So this is still pushing down here, getting flushed here on the longs on this 15-minute. So what level do we still need to see broken to the upside before we can kind of think about getting aggressive here, expecting the bottoms in? Well, current levels right here. 63, 64, about 64 even almost. So again, same thing with this. Would be nice to see this consolidate out a bit, make a new low, and then break to the upside, because then we have a better potential for getting in lower for then looking for that move. So that's what I'd like to see, another push and then break to the upside of the structure. Something we can look at weekly. Looks like we may have swept some lows here. Not quite. Looks like we just came down almost with these lows. I think on some exchanges, these wicks weren't as low, so we did sweep them. So we're kind of in that bottoming portion here. This is majority of the flushing should be done now. We just want to kind of see those lower time frames kick into gear first before getting too confident about a bottom being put in. So let's take a look at H bar. H bar level to be broken to the upside here. So about 56, 57. That's the level to break right now. Again, same thing with the others. Want to see that push down again just so we get a better entry. Each lower high that we get, we want to see that be the broken high that's lower, get into a bullish structure. So if this was to put a consolidation, break down, then we have a better level here to look for that break. Then we can look to buy at a better price. Right now, it's just so high up here. So it's not as ideal as if we did that final move, as I've said on Litecoin and Ethereum and Bitcoin as well. CRV, so here's our level to break to the upside to then get bullish. And we'll just kind of flip through here and Filecoin as well right here. So we want to see these levels broken first to then flip bullish. Things are looking pretty good. So don't be a bottom buyer. Otherwise, you just run the risk of those final flushes down taking you out. But, without any leverage, perhaps that's fine. You want to buy some spot down here. It's no problem. But I'm talking about getting aggressive with margin position. So that's what this is specifically for. And so, you can be a spot buyer at these levels for sure in the context of this daily, weekly uptrend. But just don't want to be getting too aggressive with large positioning too soon. Okay. Got to have a kind of hard set close stop loss to be getting into a larger position to make sure that you're practicing good risk management. You don't want to be risking too much and then getting prematurely stopped. So we may see this just take off to the upside, but be ideal to see it push down again. That's what I'm saying. And so let's take a look a little bit more of the data here just for fun. Ethereum, mega negative funding on that push down. That's really healthy for forming a bottom. Crazy up and down here on this open interest, which is also really good. Let's take a look at CRV. Yeah, major negative funding. So things are in the territory of bottoming. We're in that bottom territory. Filecoin, same thing, getting into that negative funding. Big flush open interest here. Really, really healthy to see this on a flush, and so it's a good thing that we're seeing it happen like this. And not such a major flush. We kind of flushed out earlier. Litecoin. Things look decent. Major negative funding here. HBAR. So things across the board are looking very healthy. Just want to see that structure kick into gear. So once we get into that bullish structure, it's time to get more aggressive and have more confidence the bottom is in. It might be in already, but just don't want to be premature to that and start getting aggressive on positioning. It's fine to call a bottom, but just positioning wise, it's not time to get too aggressive. It's okay to buy some, but just not with leverage. So that's it for this one. Don't be too afraid. Wait for the bullish structure. There's plenty of time. You don't need to catch the exact bottom. Just think about this. If we're looking for the daily move towards 100K, and then you end up getting in at 59K, are you really that upset that you didn't get in at 52K or 53K? When you have that risk that it could just keep dumping to 48K, 50K. So much better to just wait, and you have a much higher chance of catching a bottom if you don't try catching the exact bottom. So waiting for that structure to shift. So that's it for now. Possible for another move down. I think we're done with the majority of this. Look at that flush on open interest. I think we're done with the worst. So don't be too afraid, and don't get too aggressive too soon. You can always add to a position later on, higher up. And so that's the way to handle it, in my opinion. Don't get too aggressive too soon. All right, so that's it. Thanks, guys, for watching. Don't forget, if you want to trade crypto, check out Bitnex. If you're unable to use most exchanges, they don't require KYC or VPN. And then BingX. They're awesome. Indices, crypto, commodities, Forex, stocks. They have all the markets that you could need, so check them out. That's it.